Hi there, I want to give you a special invitation to join me and 30 others land an IELTS band 7.5 and above in the next 30 days. And it doesn't matter if you are terrible at English, scared of failing the exam again, another time to study because of a job. Now, to make this year my most impactful year ever, I've taken a challenge to get at least 30 people to pass the IELTS exam every 30 days. And it doesn't matter if they're terrible at English, scared of failing the exam again, another time to study because of their job. I know this is a huge claim considering how difficult the IELTS exam is. But the reason I'm bold enough to take on this challenge is because we've done it before. Now, take a look at this testimony from one of my students from last November. Now, this is Oreva, who was based in Warri. And yes, where she sent me on WhatsApp, she said, I just wrote my IELTS 21st of November and passed. I used most of my materials. Look how she got. She got reading 8. This is 7.5, speaking 7, and writing 7. And this is the interesting part. She said that it was her very first attempt, was very busy at work, and had only 3 weeks for intensive preparation. So as you can see, with my help, Oreva crossed the IELTS exam in 3 weeks, despite not having time to study because of a job. Now, 3 weeks is just 21 days. This means 30 days is more than enough to get your desired IELTS score when you do exactly what Oreva did. And listen, don't think this is a one-off. This is a one-off thing. This is Joy from Kaduna, and here's what she sent me. She just to let you know I passed my exam 7.5, my first attempt. She said she got speaking 7.5, reading 7, writing 7. Speaking 7.5, reading 7, writing 8, and listening 7.5 as well. And this is Edith, learning, listening 8, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7. And here's everyone innocent who learned a band 8 in just 1 month. Here's what he sent me. He said, good evening, bro. Find my results above. I scored a band 8 with just 1 month of using only your guidance. I'm so grateful. You can publish results to encourage others. Please add my name and my number. Thanks, bro, and keep doing what you are doing. So I can go on showing you proof that passing the IELTS exam in the next 30 days is very, very possible, even if you don't have time to study. But let me stop here to answer this important question. How did we do it? How did Oreva land a band 7.5 in 21 days, despite not having time to study because of a job? And what qualifies you to join me in this challenge so you can crush the exam in the next 30 days? And before we answer this question, I think it's important I introduce myself properly. Now, my full name is Triumphant Ogenesue in Oreshima, popularly known as Triumph Osue. Okay, I'm the founder of IELTS Avengers, and I founded the IELTS Avengers out of my passion to help people guarantee a better future for themselves and their kids abroad. And most importantly, every day I share IELTS strategies and tips for free on my Facebook and Instagram. So it's important that you connect with me on social media. Now on Facebook, you just search for Triumph Osue. All right, that's my account, so you're on your screen right now. So and just follow so you can learn more about passing the IELTS exam in one sitting. And if you're on Instagram, or if you're an Instagram person, you can find us on Instagram by searching for IELTS Avengers, just as you can see on your screen right now. So give us a follow so you don't miss out on our strategies we'll be sharing every day on social media. That is Facebook and Instagram. All right, but if you prefer to communicate to us on WhatsApp, our WhatsApp number is +23 8154 081912. Okay, now with this said, let's answer this important question. How did Oreva do it? Okay, how was she able to land a band 7.5 in 21 days despite not having time to study because of a job? Now all she did was just to follow 3 simple steps, which are: number 1, clarify your burning why; number 2, have the DID mindset; and number 3, use the IELTS cheat code formula. Now let's get started with step 1, which is clarifying your burning why. Now, to help you understand what the burning why is and how to find yours, let me share with you how I find my burning why. Now, instead of being born in Paris and smiling to a blue passport from birth, now thanks to my grandpa, I was born in a village called Ogara, Delta State, Nigeria. Now, how did this happen? My grandpa was a very wealthy international merchant who traveled to Paris and Venice and Italy at will for business. And the problem was that he never valued investing in his kids' future. He wasted all his chances of relocating my dad and his siblings abroad, despite clear signs of the country getting worse. Now, after the Civil War in 1970, while his friends and business partners were relocating their family and business out of the country, he didn't. Why, you may ask? He was a lavish spender, he married 6 wives, and carelessly plunged the family into poverty. And that's how we got everybody back into the village. Because that meant my dad and his siblings, they never had the privilege of good education, let alone the ability to relocate us, the grandkids, abroad. So growing up, I've always wanted to correct this mistake and give my kids the privilege my grandpa didn't give my dad, the same privilege my parents could not afford to give to me, which is the privilege of dual citizenship for my kids as well. Okay, so sometimes Nothing hurts more than being honest with our emotions. In 2019, I got the news that one of my secondary classmates was getting married in the UK. Now, it didn't matter much until I saw the wedding photos on Facebook. Now, back in the day, this lady, let's call her Jane, and another guy, let's call him Peter. So, Jane, Peter, and I, we usually share the first, second, and third positions in class. Now, immediately after secondary school, we all got admission to university. Jane was sent to school abroad, while Peter attended one of the most prestigious private universities in Nigeria. I went to University of Benin, which is a public school, where I spent 5 years for a 4 year course because of ASU strikes. Now, after Peter graduated, he immediately relocated, I think, to the US for his master's degree. Now, I was the only one left in Nigeria. Now, for me to get this status, I had to work it out myself. Now, this would have been the case if my grandpa had lived better. When my grandpa was shuffling Paris, Venice, and Nigeria, I could have easily positioned my dad and the same place a better future, but he didn't. As we speak, some of my uncles and aunts, they still hate him for this mistake. And I've experienced firsthand what it feels like to have parents and grandparents who didn't make power moves for you. Now, sometimes I ask myself, how would my kids feel if they learned that I had a chance to take IELTS, relocate abroad, and guarantee them dual citizenship and a better life, but I didn't? Now, how would they feel when they see my friends and colleagues, kids living a life abroad while they're struggling with the challenges we face every day in Nigeria? Now, I have to be honest with myself. They will definitely feel it. They might not have the courage to tell me to my face, but deep down, they prefer they had a different parent. And that's my burning why for taking the IELTS exam. And here are some questions for you to figure out your burning why. So the first question you need to answer is this: what are the things you hate in your life right now that passing IELTS or relocating can solve for you? Alright? And the second one is, what are the positive things you will enjoy the moment you pass your IELTS and relocate your family? What are the things you will enjoy? Take note of these things, write them down. Now, how would your loved ones feel if they realized you could pass the IELTS exam today, relocate, and guarantee a better life for them, but they didn't? I want you to take a moment to answer these questions. You can pause this video. Yes, you can pause it, answer these questions, and I also give you the permission to share them in the comment section below. Now, once you've done this, you're now ready to move to step 2, which is having the DID mindset. Now that you've clarified your burning why, the next thing you need is the DID mindset. Now, once again, let me share with you how important this is, using myself as a case study. You see, because I was born and bred in the village as a child, the only language I could speak was Urobo. I could not speak English. Now, to access good education, I was taken to a nearby town called Sapele, where I lived the guardian and attended primary and secondary school. The problem was that I never did well in English language. Now, despite all the effort, I actually had my lowest grades in English language. When I was to take my SSC, my parents were so concerned that they enrolled me for WAEC and NECO at the same time. And the idea was that if I fail English in WAEC, at least I should make it in NECO. Or if it happens that I fail it in NECO, at least I will just pass it in WAEC. Even at that, the best I could come up with was 6.6 in English, the least University of Benin required. So since then, I've always avoided English exams like a plague. So when I was to take my IELTS later, I was really scared. Like, got was when I saw friends and acquaintances be failing the IELTS exam multiple times, including English language, English graduates and lawyers. Some people wasted over 500,000 writing the exam 7 times. Now, my heart sank when I saw people saving up to rewrite the exam immediately after taking it. I even read the story of a lady who wanted to sue IELTS because she had failed the exam whooping 21 times. Now, if people, that is some doctors, nurses, engineers, bankers, even lawyers, they were complaining about the IELTS exam, then what chances to someone like me who struggled to pass English in school, what chances do I have? Like, I knew I was done for. So out of fear and despair, of failing the exam, I did what I saw everybody doing. I started gathering tons of IELTS materials from friends, from vendors. I watched hundreds of videos on YouTube. I attended online classes, that's IELTS classes, physical classes. I joined several IELTS groups on Facebook and WhatsApp and crammed high vocabulary words, grammar, idioms, and practiced any question that came my way. After 6 weeks of doing these things, it felt like I was never going to make it. And the more I learned, the more I became confused. The more I practiced, the less competent I felt. Now, each IELTS question came up with its own tricks, and wrapping my head around the exam felt like mission impossible. So to avoid failing, I started following world-renowned international IELTS coaches, people who had direct contact with top IELTS examiners. Now, when the extra mile to investing over 480,000 on their expensive programs and real IELTS past questions, and I studied them to understand how the IELTS examiners think. And that's how I discovered that when the IELTS examiners said the questions should be answered on exam day, alright, they use something they called the IELTS question types. Now, you know, IELTS is made up of 4 subtests: listening, reading, writing, tax 1 and writing tax 2, they are together, so choose one. Writing is 1, alright, and then finally speaking. Now, when they set the listening questions, they refer to something they call the listening question types. And when the examiner wants to set the reading questions, they refer to something they call the reading question type. Now, when you want to set the writing tax 1 question, the examiners will set the questions from the writing tax 1 question types. Similar thing happens in the writing tax 2. When you want to say writing task 2 questions, we refer to the writing task 2 question types, and speaking is a bit different. It has 3 parts: part 1, part 2, part 3. So when you want to set the speaking questions, for part 1, they will use the part 1 question structure to set the question. Part 2, they will use part 2 question structure. And part 3, they will also use part 3 question structure to set the question. So what this means is that eye examiners cannot set any question that doesn't belong to one of the question types. Are you getting it? Do you get it? Now, I was so happy when I made this discovery, because since eye examiners will always set the questions from the question types, it means that if I get to know the question types, I can easily tell all the possible questions I'll be asked on exam day, and this puts me at an advantage. So what I did, I set out to discover all the eye question types from which the examiners set the questions, and I found all of them. But it didn't take me long to realize one thing, that knowing all the eye question types is not enough, because though I cannot predict all the possible questions I'll be asked on exam day, if I don't have a proven strategy to get the correct answer fast, I'm toast. So this became my next goal, that for each of the questions type, I'll get at least one proven strategy to get the correct answer fast. And to accomplish this, I started studying each question type. So the more I studied them, the more I realized that for each of these question type, I explained dirty tricks to make us waste time and pick the wrong answers. And whenever I discovered these dirty tricks that I explained, I took note of them, and I developed strategies to avoid these loopholes. And I also discovered certain hidden patterns in each question type that helped me to get the correct answer fast. I took note of them as well. So with the tricks that I explained I must avoid, and the hidden patterns I discovered, I developed step-by-step strategies I like to call IELTS cheat codes, okay, for each question type. Now, I will try to choose on several questions. If the teacher does not constantly give me the correct answer, I will discard it. But if it keeps giving me the correct answer, I'll tag it proven and I'll write it down. So slowly, I developed proven cheat codes for all the question types. Now, because of my record of struggling with English language exams, I was scared about trying my cheat codes on the real exam at that time, because at that time it was 75,000 in Nigeria. As of today, it's about 279,000 naira. Okay, so by that time I was scared of spending more than 75,000 naira on the exam. So I started looking for someone to use the IELTS code on my behalf. So I started talking about these things on Facebook, and that's how I met Omolola. Now, back in the day, Omolola was a banker in Lagos. She read one of my posts and got hooked on the idea, so she contacted me. Now, Omolola was interested in the idea because she just failed the IELTS exam, was desperately looking for a way to pass it in her next trial. Now, you might be wondering, why would someone be so desperate to use cheat codes that the person who discovered them have not tested himself in the real exam? You see, though it was 2018, 2019, Nigeria was fairly okay, not as terrible as it is right now. Now, as an expert banker, I think that Omolola foresaw the crumb of the economy and wanted to relocate quickly before things got worse. Now, around that time, Oge also contacted me. Now, Oge had successfully failed the exam 3 times. Yes, they said they had failed the exam 3 times at that time. Now, remember, at that time, the exam was 75,000. So if you do the mathematics, that's 225,000 naira wasted on the exam. If it was today, that should be close to 1 million naira wasted, because one exam now is at 279,000 naira. So you can imagine how scared Oge was to take the exam for the 4th time. Now, despite her fears, she joined Omolola and they practiced the cheat codes for each question type and went on to take the exam. A few weeks later, here's what Oge commented. She said, I aced my IELTS exam once, that after first 2 trials, that's until she came across triumph. And you might be asking, what about Omolola? Now, this is a result. Omolola, yes, she landed them. Listening 8, reading 7.5, writing 7, and speaking 7.5. It was after Oge and Omolola had proven my cheat codes were sure bet to pass in the IELTS exam in one sitting, even if they failed the exam 3 times. That's when I became confident to take my test later on in 2019. But you know what happened? I did get my 0.5 that I was looking for, but it was too late. You see, in 2018, when I started this IELTS journey, my goal was to relocate to Canada via the Expo-Centric program. In 2018, the cutoff mark was around 442, but I was so with about 7 in IELTS, I was able to make this mark and relocate via the Expo-Centric program. But because of the fear of failure, I kept procrastinating. Even when I had discovered the cheat codes, I still didn't take the exam. I waited for Oge and Omolola to study them, try them on the real exam before I had the guts to take the exam. All this took about a year. So later, when I passed the exam in 2019, I went back to the Expo-Centric website. A lot of people who had higher educational degree had joined the pool, and the cutoff mark had increased. So though I passed the exam, for me to compete with these people, I needed a master's degree that I didn't have at that time. So that's how I finally realized that when it comes to IELTS and relocating abroad, delay is dangerous. Now, I'm very sure that Oge and Omolola, they had learned this earlier. That's why they didn't hesitate to use my IELTS tutorials, even though I've not tried them in the real exam. These 2 women, they had the delay is dangerous mentality. That's what I call the DID mindset, okay? They are action ladies. I wasn't action oriented. I was too careful. I was fearful. I kept procrastinating. Now, though my fears were excusable, it didn't change the fact that delay is dangerous. I still paid the price for delaying. Let me tell you what even happened after that. When I went to inquire for MSc programs that year, it didn't take long before COVID-19 hit China and spread to that part of the world. Education programs started slowing down in several countries, and by 2020 the lockdown had begun. So even in 2020 I couldn't relocate, but these women, they had relocated. Why? They had delay is dangerous mentality, but I didn't have it. This is the reason why I tell people that you cannot be making excuses and making progress at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You have to choose one. All right, under your nose, your friends and your colleagues, they're relocating, but fear of IS has held you down. Some of them are not as brilliant as you are. They're just bold. They take risks. They know that they cannot be making excuses and be making progress at the same time. So if you want to make progress regards IELTS and your relocation, stop making excuses and start taking action. 2, start preparing for the IELTS exam now, even if you don't know when you will register for it. When we're in school, then there's something we call the fire brigade mentality. You know, fire brigade only swing into action when there's fire already. That's how some of us operate. All through the semester, we will not study. Once it's 2 weeks to the exam, the fire brigade nurse will emerge. We will start studying morning, afternoon, and night until our body breaks down. Please and please don't bring this mentality to IELTS. As long as you plan to relocate, as long as you have the desire to relocate, it doesn't matter if you think your relocation pathway requires IELTS or not. Take the exam seriously very early. From today, start preparing for it. The exam is not the conventional one. All right. When you start studying late, you will most likely fail. Increase your chances of passing in one sitting by preparing by starting your preparation today. And also see IELTS as an investment. For some people, I know the exam is expensive, and I agree with you. All right, the exam right now in Nigeria is 279,500. Okay, that's no money you can plug on a trade. No, that's more than some people's monthly salary. I get it. However, compared to the transformation to make your life, the exam is cheap. That's the truth. I know you don't want to waste your added money on the exam, but at the same time, don't let the fear of wasting your money stop you from taking the exam as soon as possible. If you fail, sit as investment gone bad, learn from it and try again. Never give up. Oge didn't give up after 3 failed attempts. If she had given up, she won't be celebrating today. So learn from Oge, be an action taker, have the delay is dangerous mindset. Alright? Now with your burning why in mind and the DID mindset, let's now get into step 3, which is using the IELTS cheat code formula. As they say, necessity is the mother of all invention, and this is the very, very truth, okay? I discovered the IELTS formula out of necessity. Now, because I was born and raised in the village as a child, I couldn't speak English, and so that affected me all through school. Although I took WAEC and NECO at the same time, the best I could come up was C6. Alright, so when I started thinking of taking IELTS in 2019, I was really scared as I saw people filling the exam right, left, and center. Even after spending 6 months doing what everybody was doing, I still felt like I was never going to make it. So that's when I opted to invest over 480,000 on real IELTS past questions and premium IELTS programs from world most respected IELTS coaches. Now, it's from studying that I discovered IELTS now set the questions we answer on exam day. And like I told you earlier, there's another set the IELTS questions from what they call the IELTS question types. Now, consider the IELTS question types as the course outline, the IELTS course outline or syllabus. Okay. Now, do you know how lecturers, they don't go outside the syllabus when they want to set exam questions? The same thing here. IELTS examiners, they always set their questions from the question type, from the IELTS course outline. Now, take a look at it. Okay, so these are all the questions for all the possible questions you miss in listening, reading, writing, academic subject training there, and writing task 2, and then speaking as well. So to ensure that I don't meet any strange question on exam day, and that I can get the correct answer fast within the shortest time, I came up with a formula, and I call it the IELTS code formula, or ICC formula for short. Now this is a for all the question types, you have to do the following. The first you must do is what? Learn how to easily identify the question type. Now, why should you do this? It helps you to accurately predict all the possible questions you'll be asked on exam day, and you also be able to prepare for them. Now, if you don't do this step, the question you meet on exam day will keep confusing you and throwing you off balance. All right, this is one reason some people keep wasting time and end up failing. You don't want this happening to you, right? Now, the second step is to be aware of the tricks that IELTS play to make you fail the question type. Right? For each question type, there are traps they put inside. You want to be aware of those traps, all right, so that you don't fall for them. You don't want IELTS to make a fool of you on exam day. Now, I've seen cases where people finish all the questions and believe that they've crushed the exam. On the exam on result day, they get the shock of their life. They end up with low scores. So I'm so confident that they pay for a remark, but their scores remain the same. Now, do you know why? They most likely picked the wrong answers, thinking it was a correct one. Listen, in each question type, IELTS plays silly tricks to make us pick the wrong answers. If you are not aware of these tricks and you don't know how to avoid them, you end up like these candidates, and that's not what you want. All right, step 3 is to master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets you the correct answer fast for each question type. And this is very, very crucial. When you meet questions you recognize its question type and you know the tricks I will play that you want to watch out for, the one thing you don't want to happen is to waste time thinking about how to solve the question. On Thursday, time is short. You should enter the admission or 100% prepared for every possibility. Now, what should happen is this: you see the question, you recognize the question, you avoid the misleading tricks that I explain, and immediately you apply your step-by-step strategy on it. You get the correct answer quickly and move on to the next. This is how you beat time. That's why you cannot joke with step 3. Take it from me. Before you register for the exam, for each question type, you must master a proven step-by-step strategy for getting the correct answer fast. There's no other way. Now, let me tell you why I cannot emphasize this enough using Dr. Emmanuel as a case study. You see, Dr. Emmanuel lived most of his life in the northeast of Nigeria, which is the very heart of Boko Haram terrorism. All right, he schooled in Maiduguri and practiced in Gombe for over 6 years. Now, I want you to imagine living amidst bomb blasts, kidnappings, and killings every single day. Like you're living in a place where there's no value for life or property. You could drop your kids at school on your way to work, and in the afternoon, you get a call from a stranger asking for 50 million naira. If not, you will not see your kids again. Now, that's how life was for Dr. Emmanuel. And this is his burning wife for taking the IELTS exam, so he can quickly qualify for his medical exams, practice in the UK, and relocate his family too. But he ended up with a band 5 when he had a band 7.5 or above. Now, at this point, he desperately needed a way to move to band 7.5. If not, his life and his kid's life would potentially be in danger. And that's when he approached me for help. So I explained to him the IQ formula, and here's it again. For all the IELTS question type, make sure you learn how to easily identify the question types. Alright, be able to trick the I explained to make you fail that question type and master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets you the correct answer fast. And to make sure that you do this for all the question types. This was the problem that we had with Emmanuel. He didn't take this to heart. He only prepared for some question types and ignored the rest before taking the test again. So in the examination hall, you know what happened? He met questions he wasn't ready for because he didn't prepare for all the possible questions. Alright? He met strange questions that he had not mastered a proven step-by-step strategy to get the correct answer fast. So result day, he failed to get his required band 7.5. But you know what struck him? By following the IQ formula halfway, he moved from reading 5 to reading 6. From listening 6, he moved to listening 7.5. From writing 6, he moved to writing 6.5. And he also got a speaking 7.5. Now, immediately he saw his improvement. He was like, wow. What if I've taken this more seriously? What if I'd followed the IQ formula all the way? You see? That same night, on seeing his result, he booked for the next available exam and went back to the IQ formula. Now, this time, he implemented it with overdrive and was ready for any question asked through his way. And then he took his test. And his very first attempt using the IQ formula correctly, he learned reading 7, listening 8, writing 7, and speaking 7.5. As a matter of fact, let's say from Dr. Emmanuel himself.
When the test came out yesterday, I said, wow, Triumph has done it. No, seriously, I can't imagine how I felt the last minute. I want to thank you for this idea you brought. I want to thank you for bringing up this initiative. Yeah. You saved me a lot of money. You know, you saved me a lot of time and stress. Since yesterday, I've been emotional about it.
Now, can you see why it's so crucial you follow the IQ formula all the way? It's a sure way to pass the exam in one sitting. Now, you can choose not to follow, but I assure you, you only set yourself up for failure like Dr. Emmanuel did until he learned his lesson. Now, this is the reason why I created the IELTS Code Pledge, okay? And I want to say it after me, alright? Say this after me. Before I register for the IELTS exam, I pledge that for all question types, I will do the following. I will learn how to easily identify the question type. I'll be aware of the tricks that I explain to make us fail the question type. And I must master a proven step-by-step strategy that gets me the correct answer fast. So help me God. Now, if you said this, I want you to type 1 in the comment below. If you said this, I want you to type 1 in the comment below. Now, Oliver kept to this pledge, and that's why she could crush the exam in one sitting despite not having time to study. And if you want to share your testimony before the end of this year, you have to keep to the ICC pledge as well. So let's now answer this important question. How did she do it in 21 days? And how can you get it done in the next 30 days so you can share your testimony as well? You see, when you look at the IELTS course outline and count the number of question types you have there for each subtest, you discover that we have 8 listening question types, 12 reading question types. Tax 1 academics has 7 question types. Tax 1 generation has 2 question types. Tax 2, writing tax 2 has 5 question types. And speaking has 3 parts. So in all, we have 37 questions to cover. Alright, so that anyone that you meet on Thursday, you are good. So what this means is that when you focus on 2 question types per day, you can cover the entire IELTS course outline in 19 days. 2 times 19 is 38. Or I have 37 to cover. So that means within 90 days, if you study for 2 question types each day, you cover everything. So for these 90 days, you dedicate 2 hours each day. Call it your IELTS time. All right. On your IS time, follow the actual formula to prepare for the question types of the day. And don't tell me you don't have time. Whenever they have time either. All right. But she had 1 hour before going to bed, and 1 hour after waking up. You can do this same. You can do the same. 1 hour before going to bed, you focus on one question type. If it means going to bed 1 hour later than usual, do it. See that as a sacrifice for a better future for yourself and your kids. Also, wake up 1 hour earlier than usual so you can have 1 hour spare to focus on one question type in the morning. You can even dedicate your office break to working on the IHU formula. This sacrifice is as easy to do when you remind yourself of your burning why. You know delay is dangerous. So no procrastination, no laziness. This is how Oliver did it. She didn't make excuses. She took action and she made progress. So the question is this: do you have what it takes to follow in her steps? Will you take action? You know, talk is cheap, but will you walk your talk, or are you going to chicken out and wait for the repercussions years to come? Right now, you have 2 options. Now, the first option is to execute the IHU formula on your own. That is, you will research how to identify each of the question types yourself. You will study each question type all by yourself to know the tricks that I explain in them for you and that you must avoid. And for each question type, you develop your own step-by-step strategy for getting the correct answer fast. Now, this is what I did. It took me over 10 months. You can give it a try, or you can join the Band 8 challenge starting on the 2nd. Now, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, now to make this year my most successful year, I've taken the challenge to get at least 30 people to pass the exam every 30 days. And one of my plans of getting this done is the Band 8 Intense Challenge. Now, here's how it works. I've created an exclusive Telegram group for 30 days. I'll be giving you sheet codes for 2 IS question types. Now, that's not all. For each question type, I will give you real IS past questions that you will likely meet on exam day, so you can use them to master the sheet codes. Now, week 1, we'll focus on the listening and writing task 2. Week 2, writing task 1 for academics and general training will be the focus. Week 3 is dedicated to reading and speaking, and week 4 is a practice marathon with questions you will likely meet on exam day. Now, how about that? So 2 question types per day. In 19 days, you will cover the entire IS course outline, and the remaining 11 days, you practice questions you will likely meet on exam day. See, you may not crush the IS exam 21 days like whatever, but you definitely be crushing the exam in 30 days, which is not bad. All right. At least you'll be smiling to exam scores like Omolola, now living in Birmingham, UK, and you'll be jubilating like Nosoluope, Ulayen listening 7, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7, and is set to leave the country, all for just 1,500 naira per day, which is 2 payments of 25,000 naira or 1 payment of 45,000 naira only. Yes, with just 1,500 naira per day, by the 30th of next month, you'll be able to accurately predict all the possible questions you'll be asked on exam day. Number 443 is the IS play to make you fail the listening, reading, writing, and speaking test. For each question type, you are smart the IS examiners with cheat codes that get you the correct answer fast, even if you're a slow writer. You will take the exam with the full confidence that you are definitely passing it, even if you're terrible at English and another time to study. You get to the desired score in one sitting and never have to worry about the exam in your life again, and be free to further your education plans and celebrate next year's Christmas with your family abroad, all for just 2 payments of 25,000 or 1 payment of 45,000 naira. And you'll be smiling to a desired result, just like Webimo who lives in Lagos, and then listening 8, reading 7, writing 7.5, and speaking 8. Or you'll be dancing to desired just like Adeoki from Abiyokuta, who listening 9, reading 7.5, writing 7.5, and speaking 7.5 on a very first attempt after 6 years of avoiding the exam.
Yeah, this is my wife. Her name is Ololade. Okay.
You sent me very much. If you had what's the result again? Just call it out from listening, reading, writing, and speaking. What did you get exactly in each of?
Okay.
Listening 9.0.
Wow.
Writing 7.5. Reading 7.5. Speaking 7.5.
In your first attempt, after 6 years of deciding not to take any exam in your life.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, let me make this clear. The Band 8 challenge starts on the 2nd, and once we begin, registration ends, so you have limited time. Now, the challenge will happen in a private Telegram group so that if your job or business takes your time, you can always catch up on the class. Note, everything and all the resources you will get to remain in a private group even after the challenge is over, so that you can continue studying with them and celebrate a band 7.5 and above whenever you choose to take the test, just like Nurse Joy from Kaduna, who didn't have much time to study, but she still had listening 7.5, reading 7, writing 8, and speaking 7.5, all like Dr. Ife, who crossed the exam in one sitting with listening 9, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 8. And if you fail the exam in the past, no problem. You'll be celebrating like Ogi, our action lady, with the delayed dangerous mindset. Simply make a payment to the account on your screen right now and send us your proof on WhatsApp so we can add you to the group immediately. Now, if you're outside Nigeria, simply tap the button under this video. You'll be able to choose the currency of your country and be able to make your payment right away to join the challenge right now. Now, in case you are asking, what's the guarantee that you will pass the exam when you join the Band 8 study challenge? Now, here's what Jenny has to say. She said, I'm a living testimony of the thorough tutorial of Mr. Triumph. You'll surely pass if you focus on the strategies well and do your daily assignment diligently. You see, the Band 8 study challenge is a proven system that works. And before I can let you in, you have to prove to me that you are committed. All right, these people are committed. You have to promise me that you will practice the ICT course you'll be getting daily. You will do the daily tasks and submit your assignment when due. You implement the corrections you will get during the challenge so you can come back and thank God, just like Voki is saying right here. She said, I'm back to say thank you. Storming on your page and taking your classes was what it was my first attempt and it's done and dusted. One sitting to think I took the ICE computer-based test. If I take the class more seriously, it would have been a Band 8 signing out graciously. Even this is what Success is saying. Success here, she sent us this message late at night. In the next morning, we replied that she said, trust you are good. So I said, I want to appreciate you for your teaching. I got my required band score. What did she get? She said, it was her 5th attempt. Thank you so much. That's what she's saying. She had failed the exam 4 times after using so many trainings and self-study. During the challenge, she passed the exam immediately. Even this is what the Olamide has to. So Olamide is saying, what people don't know is this: there is no how they will attend your class or get your materials that they will not pass. Now, even if they are just using your material 2021, add over 7.5 band. If not that it expired, I'll be coming back to write again. Your teachings are top notch. And this is what Yisa is saying. Thank you so much for the tutorial, sir. I gained so much. I'll keep watching the videos till I master all the steps and mistakes to avoid. I told you this is what you have to do, right? I swear your teaching is top notch. I've used 2 different tutors and your work can't be compared to theirs.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ade, and I'm here to share my testimony with you guys. Okay, some months back I registered with Triumph for some IELTS tutorials. I'm a nurse back home in Nigeria, and I'm glad to let you guys know that I'm now a nurse in the UK. I got a 7.5 in reading from 6. And a band of 8 in listening from 6 also.
So what's your major advice? What's your major advice for people in your shoes in Nigeria right now?
Well, as for me, especially for nurses, because the opportunity is there.
Okay.
So far you pass the exams, you just try as much as possible to put in all effort. If it's worth you borrowing money, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Even if you don't have the money now, and you want to pass the exam, just try as much as possible to borrow from somebody that is reliable and know that, okay, you can confide in. Just borrow and put in all your efforts. So far you pass, you have the necessary requirements, you are good to go. Because the opportunity is there for nurses to come in, nurses, doctors, even pharmacists.
Now, I want you to understand that this is an investment. An investment that will change your life and kids' life forever. Now, the Band 8 challenge is priced 1,500 per day. Alright, so this means that the entire 30 days, that's 45,000, right? However, we don't accept 1,500 daily payment because it attracts too much bank charges, and keeping track of those who made payments and those who did not is hectic, especially when we have to do it for the entire 30 days. So this is the reason we only accept 2 payments of 25,000 for those who want to pay in installments, or 1 payment of 45,000 for those who are paying for the entire 30 days. Now, for you can convert this to your currency. To convert this to your currency, all right, that's if you're not able to pay in naira, click the button below. You're able to choose your convert it to your currency and see the exact amount in your currency. All right. Now, truth be told, all right, there's a lot you can do with 45,000 naira. Now, for the guys, you can get a good pair of shoes that will save you for a couple of years. The ladies, you can get a good handbag or even a mid-quality human hair. You can even use it to get gifts for your kids or feed for a week or 2. But the question is this: what long-term value will this give you compared to participating in the Band 8 challenge? Right now, for 5,000, I cannot get you a set of quality non-stick pots. It cannot get you 20-liter microwave, not even a bag of rice. But do you know what it gets you when you invest in the Band 8 challenge? Freedom to accomplish your education dreams and celebrate next year Christmas with your family abroad. Freedom from feeling inferior to your friends and your colleagues living abroad. Freedom to live and work abroad where you earn dollars and pounds instead of now that seems to be losing value every day. You get that sense of pride and joy for sending money back home in pounds and dollars. You guarantee a better life for yourself and your kids. Have your kids attend British, Canadian, or US schools absolutely free of charge. Grow old to see your kids forever grateful that they have you as a parent, and be the reason your future generation will enjoy their broad privileges from birth. All for just 2 payments of 25,000 or 1 payment of 45,000 naira. So as you can see, this is an investment of a lifetime. And if you really have a bonding wife for taking the IELTS exam and relocating, it's a no-brainer. Make your payment right away. Let's get started making your dreams come true. Remember, registration ends midnight on the 1st. And here's some good news, okay? When you sign up for the challenge within the next 24 hours, I'm going to give you early access to my IHG tools before even the challenge starts, and much more. Now, based on Oriva success and speed, we created IHG plan that as long as you follow it, you'll be able to pass the exam with even if you have only 3 weeks left, just like Oriva. And guess what? When you sign up for challenge right now, you will get this chip plan for free. And not just that, when you sign up right now, before the timer below hits 0, I'm going to give you instant access to all my cheat sheets for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So this means that you don't have to wait on the 2nd of next month to start preparing. Starting from this very moment, you can start practicing my cheat codes and testify like whatever. Remember, delay is dangerous, right? And to crown it all, I also give you instant access to my IS past question board to questions you will likely meet on exam day. Now these questions is worth over 300,000 for us to get them. All right, but I'm making them available to you for free when you join the Bandit Challenge today. And the reason I'm giving you all of these bonuses is to ensure that you have everything you need to crush the exam starting from this moment. No delay. So you can testify just like Sonny. He joined the challenge from the United Kingdom and he crushed it with listening 7.5, reading 8, writing 7 in just 3 weeks. Yes. Mary here as well, she registered once from Akure. She had listening 8.5, reading 8, writing 8.5, and speaking 7. From using these bonuses, I'm giving you for free when you join the Bandit in 30 days challenge right now. So go ahead, make your payment so you get instant access to the bonuses and get it for free. All right, make your payment to the account number on your screen right now, or you can click the button below. All right, or if you're probably seeing this on YouTube, you will check the description. You will find the link. All right, click on it. On that link, you will also convert it. You convert the currency to the one for your country, and you can pay with your credit card or debit card as well. Okay. Now remember, once the timer below hits 0, the bonuses disappear forever. Now I want you to understand that if you don't want to do this, it's fine. All right, success in life and relocating abroad is not for everybody. I've shown you everything you need to do to crack the exam in the next 30 days. All you have to do is figure out your burning why. All right, make sure you have the delayed genius mindset and follow the IHG formula. That's all, nothing else. And you might as well execute the IHG formula yourself. I did it, took me 10 months. I just want to save you time and get your desired result fast, just like Emoroloke from Ogun State who participated in the Bandit Challenge and learned this 7.5, reading 8, writing 7.5 and 3.5 in a very first attempt. Even Egeti from Abuja learned listening 9, reading 9, writing 7, and speaking 7.5 on a very first attempt with the Bandit Challenge. Onomaya as well from Abuja as well learned listening 8.5, reading 8.5, writing 7, and speaking 7.5 on a very first attempt with the Bandit Challenge. So listen, all the education pathways are getting choked. Everybody wants to relocate. See, if you're not fast enough, you miss it like I did in 2019. So go ahead and make a payment right now. Join the Bandit Challenge right now. And please note, the Bandit Challenge is for those who have a burning why. Those who know that delay is dangerous. Those who want to celebrate next year Christmas with their family abroad. And if that's you, sign up right away so you can start practicing with the IHG plan and cheat sheet immediately and get them for free as well. So please note this, all right? Once you made your payment, send us your profile to us on WhatsApp. So we'll add you to the Telegram group and you get instant access to the bonuses. Remember, these bonuses are only available for the next 24 hours. All right, you get them if you come in through the payment. If you make a payment of 25,000 naira, you get the bonuses as well. All right, so just make sure you join in within the next 24 hours so you get the bonuses and start your preparation early. Go ahead, make your payment either to the account on your screen right now. You click the button below this video, the link below this video, so you can pay your local currency. Okay, if you have any questions, send us a message on WhatsApp. My assistant will attend to you. All right, I'll see you inside. Bye bye for now.